Good afternoon, students. So we were doing numericals of this chapter, correct? So we had done up to which problem? Which problem we were doing? Yes. Which question we were doing? Okay, question number 10 completed. Okay. So question number 10 we have completed. We have to start from question number 11. Okay. Okay. So question number 11 now. We'll start with the question number 11. So question number 11 says, in a chamber, okay, a uniform magnetic field. In a chamber, a uniform magnetic field of 6.5 Gauss is maintained. An electron is shot into the field with the speed of 4.8 into 10 power 6 meter per second, normal to the field. Okay, so there is a chamber, okay, in which we are having a magnetic field given to us. Also, it is said that the velocity of the electron which is fired, is given to us, and the direction is perpendicular. So the velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So when it is perpendicular to the magnetic field, so we all know that the path will be circular. Fine. The question is, explain why the path of the electron is a circle. So why is this path circle? Yes, can anyone give me answer for that? Why is the path circular? Can anyone give me answer for that? Due to centripetal force. Okay. To some extent it is correct. To some extent this is correct. Because it is normal to the field. Okay. So what happens if it is normal to the field? See here. We know that the force is this magnetic field is perpendicular to the velocity. Magnetic field is perpendicular to the velocity, and when we find out the direction of force, so what happens? It will be perpendicular to the motion. Okay, it will be perpendicular to the motion of the electron. Now, because it is perpendicular to the motion of electrons, so what happens? The magnetic force, okay, tries to, or it gives the centripetal force. It causes centripetal acceleration. Okay, so if it causes centripetal acceleration in the body, so what happens? Due to that force, when I say that it is causing centripetal acceleration or it is a centripetal force, so that means it is causing it to rotate. That force will be called a centripetal force, or that effect will be called a centripetal acceleration. Okay, so due to that, what everything is happening now, because we are given with the field as well as the velocity, I'm asked to calculate the radius of the circular coil. Okay, so how we will start this now? See here, this magnetic force, okay, F, F is equals to mv square by r, where v is the velocity, r is the radius. Okay, v is the velocity, r is the radius. Now, what is force? Magnetic force. How will you write? How will you write magnetic force? It will be written as QVB sine 90. QVB sine 90. From here, calculate R. From here, you can calculate R. So value of R will be what? MV by QB. MV by QB. M is the mass of particle. V is the velocity given to us. Q is the electron charge, and B is again the magnetic field value that is given. See here, this is given in Gauss, and 1 Gauss is equal to 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. So you're supposed to multiply 6.5 into 10 power minus 4 in order to convert this into Tesla. You'll get the radius of the particle. Okay, you'll get the radius in which it is rotating. So this is problem number 11. Is it okay? Is this okay now? Question number 11. Question number 12. In exercise 4.11, okay, so in the previous example, question means obtain the frequency of revolution. Frequency of revolution means what? Frequency of revolution. Frequency of revolution. This means they are asking me 1 by time period. They are asking me 1 by time period. So what is time period now? Time period is 2 pi by omega. Time period is 2 pi by omega. What is omega? Omega is V by R. Omega is V by R. Now, just see this equation, okay, where we have calculated R is equals to mv by qb. Can you tell me the value of V by R from here? It will become V by R is equals to qb by m. Okay, so this is equals to omega. This is equals to omega. Omega I have calculated. Can I calculate time now? Can I calculate time period? Can I calculate time period? So T will be is equals to 2 pi by omega. Omega is what? QB by M. So means goes up. We are asked to calculate the frequency. So this means it becomes QB by 2 pi M. This is the answer. Is it clear to everyone? Is there anyone who is having doubt in this now? Can you substitute the values and get the result? Can we substitute the values and get the result? Okay, fine, good. I'm not going too fast. No? Am I going too fast? See, these are direct formula based questions. Okay, if you remember the formula, then also you can calculate. Okay, so I'm telling you, like, if you are not knowing the formula, okay, if someone knows what is the result of frequency, you can solve, you can directly put the value and get the result. Okay, but suppose if I don't know the formula, then how will I approach? So like, this is how we will do. Okay, in this question number 11 also I've tried to do from the basic only. Okay, so question number 13 now. Question number 13. So question number 13 says a circular coil of 30 turns. 30 turns of radius 8 centimeters. So 8 centimeter means 0.08 meter. Carrying a current of, current is given as 6 ampere. Is suspended vertically in a uniform horizontal field of, so magnetic field is given to me as 1 Tesla. The field lines make an angle of 60 degree. The field lines make an angle of 60 degree with the normal of the coil. Calculate, okay, with the normal. So theta means angle. Angle is 60 degree. calculate the magnitude of counter torque. Which torque? Counter torque. Counter torque means what? That will stop this coil to rotate. That will stop this coil to rotate. Okay. Now suppose if this is a block, okay, I'll just ask you a very basic concept. Suppose if this block, okay, you are applying a force of 10 Newton, okay, so how much counter force I should apply so that this block does not move? If you are applying a 10 Newton of force in order to move this block, so how much force shall I apply in order to make this block at rest itself only? Yes, there's no rocket science in this. Please tell me the answer. 10. 10 in opposite direction. Very good. 10 in opposite direction. So same way, if you have a torque, okay, due to current, so how much should be the what do you say, counter torque? So the counter torque should be also the same value. So if I calculate the torque value, that will be the only counter torque over here. So tau will be given as torque m cross b. Tau will be given as m cross b. Okay. Now what is m? M is NIA B sine of 60 degree. Is it okay? Now tau will be equal to, n value is 30, I is 6, area how will I calculate? Pi r square. So pi into 0.08 square, magnetic field 1, sine theta is how much? 0.866. Okay, root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2. This is torque. Can you all calculate this? Shall I leave it now? NIAB into sine theta will be there, dear. Okay, not only NIAB, it should be NIAB sine of theta. Okay, because angle is given, no? Angle is given. So that's why it should be NIAB sine 60 degree. If you can calculate this, you'll get the value. Okay, this was part A. This was part A. What is part B now? Okay, 3.133. Okay. Ganesh is getting 3.133 Newton per meter. Are you all also getting that? Torque 3.133 Newton meter. Okay, just verify this. Okay, okay. Almost same only, 3.132, same only. Okay, good. Okay, B part of this. Would your answer change? It is asking now, would your answer change if the circular coil in A, means in part A, were replaced by a planar coil of some irregular shape that encloses the same area? Yes. Will it change? Would the torque change, or would your answer change if the loop would have been of different shape? Yes. No. The answer would have not changed because the area is same. Because they have told that the area must be same. Okay. The area encloses the same area. You can see here, encloses the same area. Is it okay? So if it is enclosing the same area, can you see this? If it is enclosing the same area, if it encloses the same area, so the answer would not change. The answer would not change. Okay. Are you willing to do the additional exercise, or we shall skip that? Yes, it is up to you. Are you willing to do the additional exercise, or shall we skip that? What? Yes, sir. Okay. Shall we do? Okay, okay, we'll do then. Fine. Question number 14. Additional exercise, question number 14. Two concentric circular coils X and Y. Okay. Two concentric circular coils X and Y of radius 16 centimeter and 10 centimeter respectively lie in the same vertical plane. Lie in the same vertical plane. Okay. So we have two coils which lie in the same vertical plane containing the north and south direction. Okay, north to south direction. Coil X has 20 turns. Coil X has 20 turns and carries a current 16 ampere. So let us start drawing the figure. Otherwise, we'll forget about the informations. So this is one coil. Okay. And this is the next coil. So one coil is 16 and one coil is, what has happened? One coil is 16 and one coil is 10 centimeter. Okay. X is 16 and this one is Y is 10 centimeter. X has 20 turns. So this is having 20 turns. This and carries 16 ampere. Y has 25 turns and 18 ampere. The sense of current in X is anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise direction in X. Clockwise in Y. Clockwise in Y. Okay. Now give the magnitude and direction of the net magnetic field due to the coil at their centers. Okay. So what is the net magnetic field due to the coils? So can we calculate the individual magnetic field first? Can you calculate the individual magnetic field first? What are the radius values? This is 0.16 meter and this is 0.1 meter. Can we calculate the individual magnetic field? Yes. So individual magnetic field for X and for Y we have to calculate. Now for X, what we will write? Mu naught I. I value is what? 16 divided by 2R. Okay. 2 into R. R is 0.16. Now because there are 20 turns, so we should multiply with the 20. Same way in this also. Mu naught into I. I is 18 divided by 2R. What is R value? 0.1 into how many turns? 25. So this is Bx and By. These are the individual magnetic fields. These are the individual magnetic fields. Okay. Now you assume that the direction, we have to find out the direction now. Okay. So it is said that the coils, okay, that the coils, if you can see here in this question, if you see, they are saying lie in the same vertical plane containing the north to south direction. This means that they are in the north to south direction. Okay, moving from north to south, you have to make a coil which is clockwise, carrying a current anti-clockwise, and then you have a coil Y which is carrying a current clockwise. Okay, so let us first draw that. Okay, this is little bit, you have to visualize in 3D now. Okay, without analyzing or without visualizing that, you will not be able to solve. So suppose this is north to south, okay, north to south. And then you have to imagine, rings, okay, rings like this, in one, okay, from where you are looking at the current, okay, facing west. If the observer is facing west, okay, if the observer faces west, then he sees that the current is anti-clockwise. So if an observer is standing here, and sees like this, if the observer stands here and sees it like this, okay, then what will be the direction of this? It is anti-clockwise. And for this, it is clockwise. And then you find out the direction, okay? Then you find out the direction. So direction you will find out by using right hand thumb rule, okay? Or right hand palm rule. And then if it is same, you just do that, okay? You just do that exercise, that if they are in the same direction, you will add them. If they are in opposite direction, you will subtract them. If they are perpendicular or at any angle, so you will just take the vector addition of that. That's it. Okay. If they are along the same direction, you will add them simply. If they are in opposite direction, you will simply subtract them. If they are at any certain angle, then you will use the vector summation. That's it. Do you understand this now? Okay. Okay, question number 15. Question number 15 now. So question number 15 says, a magnetic field, question number 15 says, a magnetic field of 100 Gauss. We have a magnetic field value of 100 Gauss, which is equals to how much of Tesla? You have to multiply 100 into 10 to the power minus 4, and then it is converted into Tesla. Is required, which is uniform in a region of linear dimension about 10 centimeter and area of cross section about this. Okay. So it says that a magnetic field is given to me in a required to, which is uniform in a region of linear dimension. Okay, linear dimension is 10 centimeter and area of cross section is given. Okay, cross sectional area is given. This means it is somewhat like this. Linear dimension is how much? 10 centimeter, and this area, cross sectional area is 10 to the power minus 3 meter square. The maximum current carrying capacity of a given coil of wire is 15 ampere. Okay, current is 15 ampere. I value is 15 now. I value is 15 now. And number of turns per unit length that can be wound around a core is at most 1000. Okay, so that means they are giving n per unit length, capital N. Okay, capital N value, which is a small n. So capital N by L, they are giving me 1000 meters. Okay, 1000 turns per unit meter, like this. Suggest some appropriate design particulars of solenoid for the required purpose. Okay, so we have to construct a solenoid using it. So just I'll again brief about the question. The length of the solenoid is 10, what they have given us. Okay, the length is 10 for solenoid. Area of cross section area is 10 to the power minus 3 meter square. I value they have given me and N value they have given me. And now they are asking me, suggest some appropriate design particulars. So when they are asking me design particulars, so what they are actually asking me? What they are actually asking us? They are asking us a number of turns. Okay, they are asking us something related to number of turns. Okay, how many number of turns per unit length will be there, or how much amount of current would flow per unit length. Okay, how much number of current would flow per unit length. This is what they are trying to ask. This is what they are trying to ask, because I enclosed was the important thing which we had to calculate over there. Yes or no? We had to calculate, if you remember, B dot dl, okay, was written as mu naught I enclosed. Now the value of mu naught I enclosed, if you remember, it was given as nxi, okay, nxi, and b dot dl vector, this dl vector had value x. So mu naught nxi, so x and x got cancelled. B value would be now mu naught n. So actually they are asking me this n into I value. Okay, that is what the design parameter is here. In this equation, the design parameter is about n into I. Okay, the amount of current flowing per unit length. Amount of current flowing per unit length. Is it okay? Now, B value is given to me. And mu naught value I know. So B value is how much they have given? 100. So n into I will be 100 into 10 to the power minus 4 divided by current value. Sorry, not current value, mu value. So mu value will be 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. So this becomes ampere per meter. Okay, this becomes ampere per meter. So this is the design parameter, that the current in this coil must flow, somewhere around this. Okay, can you solve this, or shall I do it? You can solve it, na? Whatever result you get, that will be in ampere per meter. Okay. What is ferromagnetic? Why you are worried about ferromagnetic right now? Yes. Ferromagnetic is a material in which dipole moments will align itself in the direction of magnetic field. Ferromagnetic are those materials in which dipole moments will align themselves in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, so that is ferromagnetic material. Okay, whatever be the answer. So what design parameter you would suggest over here is that the amount of current flowing per meter, would be whatever answer. Suppose Stanley is saying that it's approximately 8,000 ampere per meter, assuming that answer to be correct. Okay, 3.14. Okay, so that 8,000 ampere per meter. So 8,000 ampere per meter will be the current that will flow in this solenoid. So that is the result. Okay. So, but NCERT book back answers are varying. NCERT book back answers are varying. Why? The answer should not be vary, na? NCERT book back, the answer should be correct. Whatever be it is, okay. If it is not coming like this, see, this is the only value which you will get. Okay, now you have to solve it. Okay, wait a minute. Let me take calculator and do. So I will get 100 into 10 to the power minus 4 divided by 4 into pi into 10 to the power minus of 7. So the what answer I am getting is 7,957. Okay, 0.77 ampere per meter. This is what I'm getting in calculator. This is what I'm getting in calculator. Okay. So this much, around this much should be the answer. Okay. Around this much should be your answer. They would have rounded it. They would have rounded it. Okay. Don't worry. They would have rounded it. Okay. If 8,000, if they are giving the result, so that then they would have rounded it. Don't worry about that. That's not a big problem. Don't worry about that. That's not a big problem because this is a subjective problem. So you can round a little bit. Okay. You can round a little bit if it's a subjective problem. Okay. But try to calculate correct results. Okay. Try to calculate up to the correct mark. Okay. Okay. Now question number 15. Now question number 15 we have done. Yes. Question number 16 now. Length about 50 centimeter radius, about 4 centimeter number of turns, about 400 current, about 10 ampere. These particulars are not unique. Some adjustments with limit are possible. They given in NCERT book. Okay, this is the answer they have given. What does this means? Length about 50 centimeter, radius. Okay, I'll look into this and then just verify it. It must be divided by value of n. If I divide this by n, so the current will be 8. No. If I multiply by 1000, then I will get the ampere. Na? If I divide by, so I will get ampere square. Na? Okay. If I divide this, then I would get per meter result. Okay. I'll look into that. I'll look into this. Okay. I don't have a book, dear. I don't have the book. This is just the chapter I have downloaded. See. This is just a chapter I have opened. Okay. I don't have a book also with me. I'll just check. Okay. And tomorrow I'll just see this problem. What actually this problem? Why they have written like that? Okay. What is the meaning? But n into I is the design parameter over here. Okay. N into I is only the design parameter. And now they would be, I would go into that result. Okay. Okay. I'll just see that and in what context they have written that answer. Okay, and then I'll try to explain you tomorrow. Okay, let us see question number 16 now. For a circular coil of radius r and n turns carrying current I, the magnitude of the magnetic field at a point on its axis at a distance x from its center is given by this. Okay, no problem. Show that this reduces to the familiar result for field at a center of the coil. Okay. So we have this result. Okay. For what contest we have this result? Question number 16. Okay. We have got this result under what contest? In what contest? When we have to calculate the magnetic field at a point which is on the axis of the coil, okay, which is on the axis of the coil. So it is like this. It is like when the P point is at X distance from its axis. Now, if this point P lies on the center, X value will become what? When this P point lies at the center, when point O and point X P coincide, when point O and when point P coincide, what is the distance X value then? Will it be 0? Can I write it as 0 then? Yes? Tell, can I write that as 0? Yes, okay, 0. Now magnetic field value, when I substitute Bx as 0, so what do I get now? B is equals to mu naught I r square divided by n value is there because there are n number of turns. X value becomes 0. So this becomes 2 into r cube. R square and r cube gets cancelled. So B value will become now mu naught n into I divided by 2r. Okay. So this is for the n number of coils magnetic field calculation at the center. N number of coils magnetic field calculation at their center. Okay. So this is the formula what you should get. Okay. This was part A now. What's part B saying? Part B says, consider two parallel coaxial circular coils, okay, two parallel coaxial circular coils of equal radius capital R, okay, both are of equal radius, and number of turns n carrying equal current in the same direction, okay. There are two coils, okay, and they both have same current carrying in the same direction and separated by a distance r. They are separated by the distance r. Show that the field on the axis, okay, field on the axis around the midpoint between the coils is uniform over a distance that is small as compared to r. What is they are saying? Consider two parallel coaxial. Okay, the axis must be same. Axis must be like this. Coaxial, the axis is like this. Okay. Coaxial. Okay. They are in the same axis. The axis is on the same line of radius r and number of turns n. Number of turns is also same. Direction of current is same. Current is same and separated by a distance r. So the distance is r between them. Radius is also r. Their radius is also r. Their radius is also r. So they are actually closer to each other. Like this. Okay. So they are separated by a distance r. They are separated by a distance r. No, not like this. This distance must be r. Okay. Coaxial. Na? Now, the distance between the two planes is r. Show that the field on the axis around the midpoint, okay, between the coil is uniform over the axis around the midpoint, uniform over a distance that is small as compared to r and is given by, okay, so we have to prove this magnetic field value. We have to prove this magnetic field value that we will get. Okay, so this seems to be a longer question. Okay, so do one thing. This seems to be because there is a derivation in behind this. Okay, so mathematics, long mathematics, I hope will be involved in this. So better we do it. You try it once. Okay, you try this problem B once. Okay, and then we will discuss this tomorrow if you don't get it. Okay, because I think this will involve a lot of mathematics in this. Understood? Okay, so that's why. Okay, Helmholtz coil and all you don't. This is also a Helmholtz coil only. Question number 16 is also a Helmholtz coil. Okay, question number 16 is also a Helmholtz coil. This one is a Helmholtz coil. Okay, So just try it once. If you are getting coaxial means the axis must be same. Coaxial means axis must be same here. Okay, like you have two rings. You have two rings kept together in the such that their area is facing towards each other. Such that their area is facing towards each other. That is coaxial. Okay, that is coaxial. Understood? One is like this and this. Okay, so we can have two coils like this also. Okay, this is not the case. This is not the case. What the case do we have is, what case do we have is, one coil is here. Okay, one coil is here and the another coil is here. Okay, along the same axis. Sir, in that question, please explain the last sentence. You're asking me to explain the last sentence in this question number 16, B part, right? What you have to actually show that the field on the axis, okay, on the axis, on suppose this is the axis, okay. So see this figure, see this figure over here, okay. If I make a coil here, like this, okay, so this is a coaxial coil now. Okay, this is a coaxial coil, so somewhere in middle, okay, somewhere in the midpoint between the coils is a uniform, okay, the field is uniform over a distance that is small. Okay, this distance you have to assume is small, not large, as compared to r. Okay, and is given by this value. Okay, so actually this is the midpoint, and here or here, somewhere around the midpoint, okay, somewhere around the midpoint it is saying, okay, around the midpoint, field on the axis around the midpoint, okay, between the coils. So if this is the midpoint, if you can see, okay, in this figure, if you see here, so this is the midpoint over here, somewhere around the midpoint. Okay, this distance you have to neglect, that distance will be neglected. Okay, that distance will be neglected as compared to the r, that distance will be neglected as compared to r. Okay, so now I guess all the numericals are not as for the NEET students. Okay, these are very lengthy questions now, okay, which is not for the NEET. Okay, so it's better that we don't discuss those questions now. Okay, so yesterday I gave you few questions. Okay, in that one question was there which didn't had a figure, so I don't know like how it is happening. I'm making a lot of mistakes while writing the questions. Okay, so I should not be doing that, but I don't know how it is happening. So you just take the questions. Okay, where it has gone. Yeah, here. This is the figure actually. This is the figure. Question number 13. Sorry, question number 14. Question number 14, I had missed the figure. Yes, if you would have solved, so question number 14, there was no figure. You can take the figure now. You can take the screenshot and attach with the question number 14 now. Okay. Question number 14, you can attach this figure with that. Right? Okay. You have done this? Have you taken the screenshot of this? Okay. So yesterday I gave you the solution also of first 5 questions. Yesterday I gave you the solution of the first 5 question, okay, which again had a little bit of problem in this question. In this question, okay. So in question number 5, what you should do is you have to assume this as minus a in the question. Minus a in the question, okay. Wrongly I had written that. If I make it plus a, it is not serving the purpose. $115 or $215? $115 or $210? $215. The timing has changed or what? This is minus a. This is minus a. Okay, fine. Okay, up to 215 we have, no problem. So make this correction in question number 5, which is minus a, not a. So 0 comma minus a. And one more thing in question number 3. Question number 3, these are the options. Okay, question number 3, the answer was, the options were wrong. If you would have seen, the wrongly I have written options of question number 2 in question number 3. Okay, that was wrongly written yesterday. Okay, so these are the options of question number 3. Okay, yesterday's question number 6 alone I should solve. Question number 6 you want. Okay, so this question says two parallel long wires are there. Two parallel long wires are there. A and B carries current I1 and I2. Okay, we have two parallel long wires, I1 and I2. When I1 and I2 are in same direction, when they are in the same direction, the magnetic field at the point midway between the wire is 10 microtesla. If I2 is reversed, the field becomes 30 microtesla. The ratio of I1 is to I2. Okay, this is what the question is. Okay, so question number 6 you are asking. Okay, just see here, I'm solving this question number 6. If anybody was not able to solve question number 6, you can see here question number 6. So it says we have two parallel wires. Okay, we have two parallel wires. When the current is I1 and I2 in the same direction, the magnetic field at the center, is 10 mu Tesla. When I reverse the direction of the current, okay, so I1 is upward and I2 is now in opposite direction. So the field at the midpoint, now changes and it becomes 30, correct? 30 microtesla. Now, what is the value of I1 is to I2? Ratio you have to find out between the currents. Now, can you tell me the field at this point due to B1, okay? The field due to B1 will be what? In this case, okay, I'll solve this, okay? Comparatively, I will solve and just check. What is the value of B1? Yes, mu naught into 2I1 divided by 4 pi into R is the distance, suppose. And it will be downward if you check. It will be downward if you see. Now, for B2, what I will write? For B2, what I should write? it will be mu naught 2 into I2 divided by 4 pi r. Now, if you check, this will be coming upward. Now, these two are in opposite direction. These two are in opposite direction. So, I will add them. Okay, I will add them and I will get the result 2 mu naught upon 4 pi r. Within bracket, I should write as I1 minus I2. Okay, I1 minus I2. Since I1 is greater, so the field due to I1 will be greater. Okay, this is now equal to 10 microtesla. Now, if you can see in the second case, the magnetic field B1, okay, the magnetic field B1 will be still the same, okay, it will be still the same. So it is 2 naught mu naught 2I by 4 pi r in downward direction, okay. What will be B2? B2 will be mu naught 2I2 divided by 4 pi r. What is the direction? Downward only. So now here I should add them. So mu naught 2 mu naught 4 pi r into I1 plus I2. And this is equals to 40 microtesla. This is equation 1. This is equation 2. Okay. You have to just take I1 by 2. So equation 1. Okay. Equation 1 divided by equation 2. You do this now. Okay. You can do this. And if I do this, I will get it as, okay. I will get it as I1 minus I2 divided by I1 plus I2 is equals to 10 by 30. Okay. 10 by 30. Why are you adding? I'm adding because they are in the same direction, dear. The fields are in the same direction. Na? Just check. The fields are in same direction, so I should add them. Na? In the second case, the fields are in same direction. That's why I'm adding them. In the first case, the fields are in opposite direction. That's why I have to subtract them. Fine. So you can just solve this. You will get 30. Shall I leave this or shall I solve it? Shall I leave this? Okay. So just check what you will get here. 20 I1 and this will be 40 I2. I1 by I2 will be 2. Answer B. Answer is B. Okay. Question number 9, were you able to solve? Question number 9, were you able to solve? Question number 9, were you all able to solve? Yes. Were you all able to solve question number 9? No. Okay. Question number 9, you were not able to solve. So just see here, the magnetic fields due to all the wire will be added. The magnetic field due to all the wires will be added. Okay. So suppose there are n-sided polygons. So I have to multiply by n. I have to do the multiplication of n. Okay. I got answer B. You got the answer B. Okay. 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 See, I'll not tell you this answer. Okay. Because I have given this question in NEET exam. Okay. You should solve this. I will not tell you the answer because this question is there in the NEET. So you should solve it now. Do one thing, you have to calculate for single wire. First, you have to calculate for the single wire and then you can solve it for complete wire. First, try to calculate for the single wire. So for single wire, what you should calculate first of all? At first, what you should calculate for a wire? you should calculate that this perpendicular distance. You should calculate this perpendicular distance. Okay. Then you should focus on what? The angle. Then you should focus on the angle. Okay. I have given you enough hint. I have given you enough hint. Okay. First you calculate the value of r. Okay. The distance, the perpendicular distance which is there. Okay. So do that first. Okay. I will tell you this answer. Okay. But not with this, not for this problem. A similar problem I'm writing and I'm doing for you. Okay. So actually this is a hexagon. Okay. Suppose there is a hexagon. Here we have a n regular polygon. I'm giving you a hexagon. Okay. So the same figure I can use. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Here it is 7. So actually I'm having hexagon. Okay. Not hexagon is there. Okay. Now at this center, okay, at this center, what angle will be subtended? At this center, what this angle will be subtended? 60 degree. At this center, what angle will be subtended? 60 degree. Okay. If this is 60 degree, you have to calculate this distance r. You have to calculate this distance r. Is it okay? Now this side will be equal to this side. That also okay? Is that also okay? Yes. Okay. What can you say about this triangle? What you can say about this triangle? What can you say about this triangle over here? Yes. This triangle, whatever is there. Okay. This triangle here. Equilateral. Okay. Fine. So this is a by 2. Can I say a by 2? This is also a by 2. Okay. This is 90 degree. This was 60. So this becomes 30. Can you solve this distance now? Can you solve this distance now? Okay. So likewise, you have to do in question number 9 also. I have given you enough hint now. I have given you enough hint in this now. Okay. So from tomorrow, we'll start a little bit. Okay. But tomorrow also, if you have any doubt, okay. Till now, I was doing NCERT questions. So we have done 16 questions, okay, in NCERT. And additional exercise, I don't think so. So much of mathematics involved questions will be there in NEET. Okay. So we should not focus on those part, okay, which involves so much of mathematics, okay, that would not be asked in the NEET. So don't do those questions, okay. So from as what I believe, up to question number 13 is more than enough for you, okay. And then try solving the seekers material if you have, okay. So if you are having any doubt tomorrow, you can ask. So tomorrow we'll start a little bit of new chapter 5, okay. Chapter number 5 will be starting from tomorrow. Okay. So is in NCERT they ask, yes, in NCERT they will ask, okay, but not that much also, okay. That not that much also, okay. They will be more towards question number up to 13, okay. Normal exercise. Additional they don't actually put, okay. If you see the paper, this year's paper, board paper, so it was very easy, okay. It was very easy. So don't, yes, for board only I am telling you. For board I am telling you that additional exercises, they don't focus on that much, okay. If you are prepared, you do it, but first you should focus on the regular exercise, okay, up to 16. Additional exercises are for advanced studies, okay. What it's from the CBSE, okay. So one or two, if they ask also, not much from that they will ask, okay. Very less they will ask. And in NEET, you cannot, they will not ask from that. That is for sure, okay. Because that involves a lot of mathematics in that. If you will see question number 16 part B, if you will see question number 16 part B, that will be a very big problem. So much of calculations will be involved in that. So that much of calculation neither in board and neither in NEET they will ask. Okay, and neither in J, neither in J. So that is only for the understanding, so that basic concept evolves. So it is for that. Okay. So with this, I'll end this session. Okay. Thank you.